So good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are. What questions might you have? I have not looked at the chat. Let me do that, see if there's questions in there. Oh, the Dorothy, as I'm going back, which I use David's form. I don't know if it's his most recent form, but it's really comprehensive. The tracker that's in the every box is fine, but David's really is so comprehensive, and I tell them it's going to be comprehensive. What's your hair like? Uh-oh, hold on, something's happening. Sorry about that. I hadn't gotten out of YouTube. This is all such a new learning experience. Thank you to Danielle for helping me yesterday get those things uploaded because I was at a total loss. Um, anyway, it talks about everything like hair, nails, skin, how you sleep at night, what's your energy like, what's your mood like, how many times do you get up at night. So it's really comprehensive. And on the back, it has lines for them to put in very specific things. If they have mobility issues, or if they've got different, abnormal cell things going on, different symptoms and things that they are experiencing, so that it's very customized for them. And then at the end of the week, they can go back at the end of the month, etc. So that's the one I use, Dorothy. Where to find it? I believe it is Ask Your Upline. They should have access to it because I'm not sure, where it is housed. I'm just looking back to see. Please feel free to unmute as I'm looking back to see if there are any questions. I think that's the only one I see. What would you do if a new user insists? So that's a great question, Yuan. If somebody really doesn't want to increase, and I think sometimes they may not admit it, but sometimes it's a financial reason, right? It's expensive to double it. I would just let them know, again, realistic expectations, that it may just take longer for them to see the results they want, but that we know from all of the research that the moment you put this in your mouth, these molecules are going to work. It's just that it's at such a foundational level, molecular level, literally, that they may not feel anything. And if they're unable to increase it, it could take longer for them to see the effects. I also, at that point, depending on what you're comfortable with, I will also tell them that we know that 4 ounces a day really is enough just to kind of affect the daily breakdown from living here on planet Earth. And so if they've got other challenges, that amount they're taking, if it's 4 ounces, is really going to struggle to impact those because it's just trying to keep up with what's going on day to day. But over time, they should see something. And if they're using the gel, maybe start using the gel more. Hope that helps. If I have nasopharyngeal, so I'm assuming that is through here, knowing minimal anatomy. There's a couple of things. Drinking it absolutely is always helping every cell in your body, but using the gel anywhere you can apply it topically, you're going to be reaching areas in both directions, from the inside out and the outside in. Send some pictures and they were amazed. Thank you, Kobe. Yes, when you're checking in on people, if you want to share before and afters, and there's a lot of before and afters, if you haven't looked at that customer group, Danielle and Alyssa did a phenomenal job. It took them a long time, and they really tried to think of every possible thing we could share with a new customer to enhance their experience, to get them educated more, to get them excited to see beyond, what they're thinking about for them, and looking at it in ways they might have never thought of to use this. So before and after pictures are on there. You can absolutely share your own. That's a great thing to do with your customers, sharing your own experience, because it's about sharing stories. That doesn't end with prospecting. We keep doing that even with our customers. Thanks, Carolyn. Yes, actually, I have, Carol. So she's asking, have we ever heard of anyone who can't even take an ounce a day because of severe detox? Yeah, and if you have someone like that, that's why it's really important to get people on with a third party, because you might not have come across that before, but many other people have. Some people go down, some people start with a teaspoon. Some people start just spraying it on their tongue. Some people need to start just with the gel. So again, look in, I know in the customer group under detox, some of the doctors talk about it, but get with your upline because I am sure they have had those experiences and can give you some ideas for how to help people who can't take and start at the amount that many people start with. Tess. uh, does that continue for months and months? Everybody's different. You know, we don't know. Everybody is going to be different. So I can't answer that, but just tell them that even just getting it on their tongue, getting a little bit in at a time, be patient with their body. Obviously there's something really, you know, going on in a big way in their body, and they need to be patient and let it take what it can. Any other questions? You guys are making this easy for me.
I want to add one thing. If you could allow me to share screen, there was some comment in the chat when you were talking about the FAQ section. And I want to point something out to everybody. So can you make me a co-host or whatever you need to do?
I think Carolyn has to do that. Maybe I can.
Carolyn, can you do that for me? Thank you. Okay. So guys, in the VIP group, if you click guides, so let's go back to the beginning. If you're in there and maybe your people don't like Facebook, whatever, there's still great resources for you here. So if you click the guides section and you go down, the second one is all FAQs about the liquid. And we were talking about how each of these, if you click them, you can get the Vimeo and YouTube link to take your people there. But if you go to the very bottom of all of the FAQ sections, it talks about if you need subtitles in a different language, or if you just want to have all of the FAQs in one spot. If you click this, it's what's called playlist. And so it pulls every single question that we had the doctors answer. And so you can just send the playlist to somebody and say, hey, number 12, you know, answers the question about medication. See if there's anything else you want to learn, because they answer a whole bunch of questions there. Okay, so that's for every FAQ section. Guide number 4 is the FAQs about the gel. It has a playlist. Guide number 6, FAQs about the ASEA Via line that Carolyn Hoffman did. It has a playlist, and it's all at the very bottom. And what's super nice about YouTube, I'm sure all of you know this, you can then just do the subtitles in whatever language you want. So it's something that can be used if you end up with people in other places and you have no idea how to speak their language. You can use that and tell them to put it in their language. So just wanted to make sure that's clear.
Thank you, Danielle. I told you guys, Danielle and Alyssa thought of everything, even people who aren't on Facebook, a way for them to access this incredible content. Nanny wrote, why on the bottle is it written don't exceed a certain amount? Remember, in any product, you have to follow the guidelines of the FDA or whatever that counterpart is in each country. And so they have to put something on the label like that. We know, though, that this is such a unique product that there is no toxicity no matter how much you're taking, but that's just a requirement from an FDA labeling point of view. And Carolyn, you know, you're much more familiar with that than I am. So if that was incorrect or not complete information, please feel free to jump in for that. Let's see. If you've got,
yeah, actually, it was correct. I'm just going to type into the chat, but you were correct.
Okay, thanks. And then Caleb. So again, I would get my upline on, somebody who is more familiar with this, but there's a lot of ways, and it's not always just a child. There's a lot of adults who don't like the taste. So there's a couple of things you can do. The pouches, because often taste is associated with smell. The pouches have the, I don't know what country you're in though. Pouches are not available in all countries, but the pouches, if you're in the US market, are a very good way so people don't smell it. There's a one-way valve. Keeping it colder is another way. But those are the two main ways I know, or using the gel a lot. Sometimes with special needs kids, parents I know have resorted to the gel rather than having them drink it. The gel is absorbed just like into the bloodstream, just like the liquid is. And we know from when this product went into one of our markets and they weren't allowed to have the liquid initially, it's about 6 tubes of gel used monthly that is equivalent, I've been told, to 1 case of drinking the liquid. So you can just apply the gel, and often it's very soothing and calming for kids. That might be an option. But again, talk to your upline, talk to some of the folks in your on your team who are above you who may have had even more experience with that. Let's see. Test what we experience. Oh, those aren't questions. Thank you all for your comments you're putting in there.
Hi, could I add a question to Caroline's comment, because I also having prospect is having challenges trying to get the child to drink. He refused to drink. He tried to apply a gel, and yet the gel to him, he felt very uncomfortable and he doesn't like it. He just doesn't seem to accept the gel either. So what else can I, or could I just, because the mom was like thinking the boy doesn't seem to enjoy the gel either, which is quite, yeah.
That is hard.
Any suggestion?
Have they tried to spray it on him with a spray bottle? But other than that, I would open that up. They did try the spray bottle?
We didn't try a spray bottle. We tried to put the drink into the fridge. He didn't want it. And to him, he just felt the taste really off, super off. Yeah, he couldn't even press the nose. He's not capable enough to press the nose and drink. So, I mean, even spraying itself, because it's quite a big boy, it's like 13, 14 years old. I really don't know how this small amount of the spraying could really see any effect. I mean, she has tried to apply a gel for a month, but because I don't think it was very conscientious, and I think it takes a lot of time, they might not have the patience to kind of like do it, and they might just feel that it doesn't work and just drop it. And that's why I think she's not continuing the auto ship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'm agreeing, Tess. It's try spraying it in the mouth. I would contact your upline and just see if they have access. You know, all of us in our upline, there's going to be some medical professionals. See if you can get your upline to help you, maybe contact someone on the board and see if they have some ideas. I'm not sure beyond spraying and using the gel. Those are the things that have worked for me in the past. I don't know if any of my colleagues for the Run to Bronze have any other ideas, but that's something that you might want to take offline and just see if there's anyone in your upline who has more information. Spraying and the gel are really the key things for me when somebody can't handle the taste.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome. I know that's not probably the answer that you were hoping for. Anyone have any other questions about following up with their customers? And just like with Sandra, you know, when you've got someone like that, you really do need to reach out to the greater ASEA community, and it might be someone cross-line that you need to go and ask, because everybody's going to have had different experiences with different things with their customer base and even their associate base. You know, what I might not know, somebody else might know. So absolutely take advantage, because I believe we have such a broad breadth of knowledge throughout ASEA and this community. One of the things I love about it is people are willing to help each other, regardless of whether they're on their team or not. So Carolyn, Dr. Hoffman has a great idea. If you can get this person to do this, even if they don't like how it feels, and I know special needs kids are very hard sometimes to do this with, but putting the spine on putting it on both sides of the spine, back of the neck, soles of the feet, maybe even while they're sleeping, especially the soles of the feet. So that's a lot of some other ideas, Sandra. So what do you do if customers who don't like to stay in touch, don't like to get back to you, et cetera? That happens, you know, and you have to honor the person's, you know, how they like to stay in touch. They might be super independent. So just every few weeks, if you haven't heard at all, just touch back. If you know that they're still on it, just say, hey, I just wanted to see how you're doing. There's an interview coming up next week with Sean Burke. He's you know, an athlete, a coach, etc. Didn't know if that was of interest, but thought I'd let you know. So I would still keep, you know, certain touch points with them. But there's really not, it's kind of like being ghosted, right? And just say, I hadn't heard from you in a while. I was just getting concerned. Just wanted to hear what you're experiencing. So all you can do is just keep reaching out and being the caring person that you are. And, you know, they may or may not respond back. Is there a link that we can invite the VIP customer group? Actually, UN, when they are, there's not really a link. You just go in and you click on, unless there is. Danielle and Alyssa will have to correct me on that. I am not a Facebook person. I'm learning. But I know that for the most part, you just go in yourself, and where it says invite, you just click that, put their name in, and it will send them an invitation in their Facebook. And when they see it, they'll click it and accept it, and then you can start to tag them. Yes, Don. So when people enroll, they can opt in for communication from corporate and their upline. What are the upline's communications? Every team's upline had a choice as to what they pick. So it's going to depend on your team. So you can ask your upline. I believe you're in Carolyn's group, so it would be David who has those and was able to pick what he wanted those to say. Oh, thank you, Buffy. There you go, UN. Somebody more Facebook savvy than I has a link. Okay, thanks, Buffy. Any other questions? Edwina, I'm not sure that you can invite non-Facebook friends because to my knowledge, when it's a private group, someone has to be a friend of yours on Facebook before they can be added. But Danielle or Alyssa can probably answer that. Danielle and Alyssa, can they join with just the link?
Yeah, if you send the link to somebody, they can just click to ask to join the group. And also the VIP group's not private, so they can just search the name of the group as well. But let me put the link in the chat. So it's a really easy link. Facebook.com/groups/ASEA VIP customers. They just have to click it and takes them right to it.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, I'm just. Oh, thanks, Carolyn. Any other questions? So this has been uploaded to the YouTube channel for all of you. And next week, we're going to shift from supporting users to supporting your new associates with Edwina Lee, who always has amazing information to share. She has built such a beautiful business, such a solid business, that I'm really excited to learn from her next week, as I'm sure all of you are. So have a wonderful week, and we'll see everybody next week.